All right. Hi, Jerry T here. And thank you guys for stopping in and checking out my YouTube channel. Today I am on Big Creek Parkway, heading down to the end of it. This is my home trail. I live roughly around a mile away from this trail, down at the other end where it begins or where it ends, depending which way you're looking at it. So yeah, we're right here is the end of Big Creek, and we're running into Emerald Necklace of the Rocky River Reservation. We call it the Emerald Necklace, locals, because it loops around. So we are actually on the, right now we're at the southwest corner coming up to the southwest corner. Got about a a couple miles up. And then we'll start, we're heading south. And then we will come up to the curve that'll take us east to west. Or west to east, depending which way you're going. And today, I'm on the Magicycle Deer. And it's a very brisk 60 degrees, but it's been raining the past 2-3 days, so it's been very miserable. No bike riding for Jerry T. So I was happy to see the sun out today. And I wanted to finish up some video work or editing I was doing in the office. And I wanted to head out. Take advantage of this weather. I threw the extra battery in the bag. I will stop and show you that. I spent a lot of time I spent a lot of time worrying about how to store the spare battery on the Ebike. So when I still do, when the Magicycle Cruiser, I had a spare battery for it, but I never squeak through here. I never went on big enough trips to really justify having two batteries. You know, and that's probably because maybe Jen, me and her, she didn't have the extra battery, so, and she's very good. She's very good about, hey, you go do your thing, I'll do mine. But I found a way. I don't want to wake the baby up with a ding and a bell. And this little trail just weaves in through here. Aw, cute couple. No kissing, you two. So yeah, let's stop here for a second. I find a good spot to do it. So when we had the cruiser, I did get a spare a battery bag and the battery is very tight fitting into this thing. But I never really used it. I used it more for storing the battery than anything. So we'll stop here. So yeah, I had the other battery bag. I was going to mount it across the back here, and it had the Velcro straps, and I got bungee cords, and I was going to wrap it, but we never did it. So I was just getting ready to, and ended up ordering the deer. So, and then later on, not long after, just about a month or so ago, they had a flash sale on the batteries, so we both ordered extra batteries for our bikes. So this is my solution for the battery, is a pannier. I found it at my bike dealer. The battery slips right in there. I don't have much to worry about. I've done quite a bit of mileage this way. I put in everything important or on the other side of the pannier bag. So, and then the battery fits in there. I haven't had an issue. I haven't had a banging. Don't feel unevenness. So it works out really great. And then if I wanted to put a bag up here, I could. I found that I'm pretty well organized with that bag. So the battery is great. So now Jen, she don't have a pannier. So I think that's going to be her solution too. Because right now we're planning some trips for more like next year. Things to do, trips to take, deciding what bikes to take. So, go ahead. You're okay. Thank you. So, yeah, it's really peak season for the leaves. Right now, it's going in the third week of October, and that's usually peak season. Last year, we were on a trip, went to West Virginia. We did not take the bikes. Thank you, you're okay. Thank you. So, we did not take the bikes. We didn't have a bike rack, I don't think, at that time. So, and this year we did a few trips, but my back really messed us up. I had a procedure done, and it was weren't sure if it was, doctor said it may not do anything. So we rolled the dice, took it, and sure enough, it didn't. So really didn't help. So thank you. Hey, here's a three-wheeler. Seeing more and more of them out. But yeah. So having the extra battery is just unbelievable. But I will tell you that. It just opens up your doors to do just anything. And we are blessed here in Ohio with trails. We're chock full of these things, and they're well taken care of, well maintained. Thank you. So we can have a blast with this second battery. But I gotta say, let me just throw this out there for all, we all think, oh boy, I had that second battery. I've got the second battery. It's tough. draining. One of these Magicycle batteries, 20 amp batteries. You're okay. I didn't want to scare you. Free dog. So, you know, I did a range throttle only range test with the Deer, the Magicycle Deer. Has a 52 volt, 20 amp battery. And, you know, I got 32 miles out of this thing. I never thought I'd get that much. I thought maybe 24, because the way the battery drains just kind of just does a head fake. When you think you're getting down to it's draining on a regular basis, it just stops. So anyway, I got 32 miles before the battery actually, the bike stopped. So I thought I'd get 24 or 26 miles out of it, but I got 32 out of that. And that's where it should be. Now, if you pedal, there's no reason why you can't get 50, 60 out of this battery. Now, I'm heavy-handed on the throttle. I'm trying not to be when Jen's with me. She likes, she's a steady Eddie. And so yeah, so let's kind of throw my thoughts on this out there and lay it on the table about battery distance. So there's no way I can, or anybody can really tell you, you're going to get this maximum range out of a bike. You know, the manufacturers, and I've heard manufacturers talk about it's 80 miles. I don't know. Maybe, you know, if you're in Oklahoma, you have no elevation, Kansas, and you've got flat lands, and you're going to pedal in PSA 1, PAS 1. You may be able to get that. You know, I'm not going to say no to that. I've been surprised at what the battery and bikes can do. So, but, hi. You're okay. Thank you. So, but yeah, I've got a rule or a kind of a way of thinking about this. I've had a 52 volt, 15 amp battery on my Cruiser. I then upgraded to a 52 volt, 20 amp battery for that same bike. I had a 48 volt, 15 amp battery on my first bike. So, you know, here I'm going to lay this out the way that can be easily kind of digested. Because this whole chit-chat about bikes, distance and battery distance can drive you crazy. First off, your volts is, I'm going to use a gym analogy here. Volts is kind of like how much weight a weightlifter can lift. So your volts determine how strong you are. Okay? The more volts, the faster you can go, the more power you have. The maybe Newton meters come into play. Newton meters are a different dinosaur. Let's just stay off that. I didn't want to sidetrack that. So volts, a 48 volt, a 52 volt, that's what you're going to find. You're going to find some commuter bikes may have a 36 volt battery. So, but a commuter bike or a 36 volt battery, is plenty. My Jen had one on her first bike, and you know, she only had, I think, a 10 amp battery. So, you know, a bike the battery will have a volt number and an amp number. So you hear 48 volts, 20 amp hour. What does all that mean? Well, I'm not gonna. I'm not going to digest into the math of it all, because no matter how many times you hear it, you're not really sure if it makes sense or not. So here's what I've come up with. Your volts is like how much weight you can lift when you're in the gym. So 36, 48, 52, you got 60, and 72, I think. You're getting up into that Suron, those fast bikes those kids get. So yeah, they're stronger because them bikes want to go faster. So your amp hour is like how many reps you can do holding up all that weight. So now we know how much weight you can, but how many times can you lift it? So that's where amp hour comes into. That's the strength not the strength. Your volts will be your strength, how much weight you can lift, and your amp hours is going to be how many times you can do it. So the word I'm looking for here is endurance. How long you can go. It's really the length. Got it. Route 82. So now that we're on the path here, see West Stream Reservation, Mill Stream Reservation. It changes names as it runs through, but it's all one big thing we call Emerald Necklace. So, but yeah, each municipality will name this stretch of trail a different name as you go through it. So it gets very confusing. So, hey. But here's where this Emerald, I'm going to keep calling it Emerald Necklace, comes, and it starts to head, we'll go east now. We've gone as far south as this trail goes, and we're going to start to go from west to east. So back to the battery, and I'm just going to enjoy this weather. So yeah, your volts is going to be your amount of strength your bike can handle. And your amp hours is going to be your endurance. How much you can do, how many times you can lift the weight or keep going, how strong you are. With the e-bike, it's how far. Literally, the amp hours means everything. So a 36 volt, 20 amp hour battery might even go farther than a 52 volt, 20 amp hour battery, because it uses less motor. So you don't have as much weight. So 20 amps is endurance. It's how much you can lift. If you don't have a lot of weight, you can lift more. So yeah. But you're going to be limited to speed. Your bike won't be able to go that fast. And you're going to struggle on hills. So that's where that comes into play. So I think I got this, so I'm going. So I'm really trying to make sense out of all these numbers or what to do, and there's a method to my madness with the end here that I'm hoping to make sense. So I wouldn't be so smitten when you're looking up bikes with the 52 volt, 48 volt, the volts. At first, when I first started looking for bikes, I thought that's what I wanted. I wanted the biggest and baddest. And it led me to Magicycle, because at that time they had a 52 volt that was really kind of the max. You had your higher end moped mini bikes, electric bikes. Those were getting into 60 volts. But 52 volt was kind of the king a year ago, and Magicycle bikes had that, and that's what I chased. So it led me there, and pretty dog. Okay. Thank you so much. Sorry. All right. Hi. So yeah, and who I'm talking to here is who this I expect to probably is looking. It's going to be older people. I'm really addressing maybe above the 40 age realm, 50, maybe retired people. Power is nice, the strength, the 52, the 40, but 48, I'd take a 48, 20 amp hour battery any day over a 52 volt, 15 amp hour battery. So, and now that we kind of know what the strength factor of the volt means, we can talk about distance a little more in detail. So we're talking amp hour, the AH, or when we say a 52 volt, 20 amp hour, we're talking about the amp hour, the AH would be. So that's going to be your distance. Now, we've heard about if you pedal, of course, if you pedal, you're going to get a lot more distance. But basically, I can't tell you what the max you're going to get, because you're going to be a hell of a lot different than I am. You're going to pedal differently. You're going to probably throttle differently, use less throttle, more pedal. You're probably, so it's just, you probably weigh differently than me. The weight does make a massive difference. So there's no way to project what the max you could get. So we can talk about minimums, and I could talk about a rule of thumb I've figured out here. So a 10 to 12 amp hour battery, I'm going to just say you're going to get 20 miles, 22, 24 miles max out of it. A 15 amp hour battery, you're going to get 25 to 30 miles out of it. A 20 amp battery, you're going to get 30 to 35 miles throttle only. That's probably your worst. This is your worst numbers. Okay, so when you go out for the day, when you're out biking, and you decide to take a trip, you and the wife, depending on how big of, if you've got a 15 amp hour battery, now it doesn't matter if you have a 36, a 48 volt, 52 volt, it does a little bit, but we're going to ignore that. We're just not going to even start getting into the weeds and the math, my head wants to explode when, you know, you look at some of these dudes on YouTube want to get into the weeds of all the numbers. It's like, are you kidding me? So just tell me what you think I can do. So that's what I'm going to do. So a 10 amp hour battery will get you 20 to 22 miles. I'm going to say a 15 amp hour battery will get you 25 to 30 miles. Throttle only. If you went full throttle your whole trip, okay? You didn't pedal at all. A 20 amp hour battery will get you 30 to 35 miles. Really. We're really going the distance today. So now, if you throttled less, if you're not a full throttle person, you know, if you throttle halfway, so your max speed is 28, and you go half throttle, you go on 14, you stick at about 14, you're gonna get more distance, whether you pedal or not. So you're using the same amount of battery. What helps is the pedaling. The pedaling will definitely increase because your motor no longer has to use that much power. You're providing power. On your left, thank you. So there's actually a bike out there now with a 60 amp hour battery. And we're hearing, you know, 100 miles out of that bad boy. That's a big battery, boy. That's a very big and expensive battery. So, well, and let's talk about this whole cost. The joke is, buy an e-bike battery and you get a free e-bike, because that's pretty much what it is. Your cost is, a good chunk of your cost is in your battery. And to order replacement batteries are very expensive. So I know a 20 amp hour battery goes for about $700. So you might catch a sale, you might catch so I'm in the part of the park where the hills it starts getting hillier, and you just really use up your battery is just chugs. We are on a very steep slope up here. So, and that's something different. There's a thing called Newton meters, which will, and that's kind of how much you can pull. You see those big weightlifting guys, they pull the sleds, you know, they drag the weight through the sand or whatever. That's kind of what Newton meters is. It's your strength, how much weight you put on, and how much of that you can pull for torque going up a hill. So, you know, again, it depends on where you live, how important that number is going to be to you. I don't have that much hill, but I'm in a section now where it's very kind of hilly through here. Ohio isn't flat plains by any stretch. Ohio isn't Oklahoma or Kansas. I don't know if you ever traveled through Oklahoma or not, but that state, it seems like you can see a 2-story building from 100 miles away. It's a little driveway. So yeah, all that factored in, you know, it all boils down to, you know, everybody, you know, you really think, ooh, you want the biggest and baddest, and I'm going to go around the world in my bike. But first off, you know, I talked about this in another video. You really need to have a game plan coming into e-bike ownership. There's a few things you want to think about. Are you handy? Can you do some of the general maintenance repairs on your bike? You really want to, you know, is your area you're going to be riding in, are you going to be trails? Do you live in an area where you have a lot of trails? I'll be honest, I've lived in Northeast Ohio my whole life, and I travel for a living. So, I mean, I was a traveling salesperson, so I was lucky I got to see different parts of the country. You know, I've lived here all my life, and I never knew there was this many trails in Ohio, in my area. I mean, we would come down and drive through the park like we in a car, but So yeah, I hope I didn't confuse anyone. I can easily go off into the weeds on this topic and just talk way too long, and I probably did, and I apologize. You know, but that's basically sums it up. In my head, I know that the battery I have in here at 100% charge, I can do probably 30 miles, worst case scenario, at my size. Hey guys. So, that's the way it is for me. And anybody with a 15 amp hour battery, you know, I would say 25 miles would be your worst throttle, full throttle. Yeah, I don't care what the manufacturer says. I'm not talking, if you add anything to that, you're gonna go nowhere but more up in mileage on that battery. And I did a whole video on how do women get more distance than men on the same battery. My wife, she can easily distance me. And we have the same battery. Women have the ability to pedal, and they don't stop. They get on a bike, and they get on a bike and say, I'm on a bike, I'm gonna pedal, and they pedal. Guys get on a bike and they go, oh my God, I got a motorcycle, and they throttle. So that's what happens. Oh, check this out. Hey. Nice. That's cool. So yeah, this is just, I hope I didn't bore you. I wanted to get out here and show you a little bit of Ohio backcountry here with the reds and the oranges, and chit chat and give you my 10 cents, which more like I gave you a quarter's worth, but way too much on the subject of batteries. So get out there and good luck in what decisions you make. And you have to, like I say, you got to think about your situation and, you know, what type of, of course, like me, I'm blessed with trails, but, you know, we do travel a lot. So a lot of times we're on the roads. We don't have trails to ride on. So that kind of comfort comes with time and experience riding your bike, where you feel comfortable. So, but, all right. Well, I wanted to say thank you for checking in with me and checking out the channel. And if you have any questions, shoot them down below. And if you're looking for a bike, there's a discount code in the description. I can save you some money for sure. So there's also a link if you want to look at Magicycle and their offerings. But if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them down in the description. Thank you so much. Jerry T out.